Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. A little bit of Tupac. We playing some hip hop tonight because tonight we talking about hip hop and we talking about our top 10 lists and we talking about the top 10 list from MTV, and it's kind of crazy as hell to me. As I look at their list, you know, I don't, of course, necessarily agree with it, but it is what it is. I want to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. The first thing I want to get into is our sponsor, Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins Williams, ODPC, has been sponsoring Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J for a while, and we appreciate it. Doctor of Optometry. She's my eye doctor, y'all. Anybody that knows me know I can't see a damn thing, and she makes sure that I'm straight. I get all my glasses from her. Anybody knows me, I'm like Fred Sanford with mine. I got like a whole drawer, and I get them all from the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins Williams, ODPC. I got about 10 pairs, and I'm always rocking them. They always stylish. She always makes sure that my eyes are healthy. She checks me for glaucoma. She checks me for cataracts. Even though I'm kind of young for all that kind of stuff, it's still something that you need to make sure you're doing. Take care of your eyes. Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins. Holler at her here in the Richmond area, 804-327-1640, 804-327-1640. Holler at her at 7124 Forest Hill Avenue, Suite B in Richmond, Virginia, 23225. Holler at her if you need to check out your eyes. Also, it's time to do the missing and or exploited child, and this week's child is Alexis Gregory. She is missing from Hampton, Virginia, since February 22nd, 2013. Her height is 5'9", 160 pounds. She's 15 years old. She's a black female. Last seen once again February 22nd, 2013. She was wearing a white shirt and black pants. If you have seen Alexis Gregory, please contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at missingkids.com. Contact them by phone at 1-800-THE-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. Please find our missing. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J on LegacyInternetRadio.com. We're in the den coming to you live on MixLR. We appreciate all the listeners and everybody that's hollering at us. We see your comments on the Facebook page as well as on the MixLR page, and we appreciate your support. I want to kind of go ahead and transition. Everybody in the crew is kind of anticipating this next part. MTV, every single year, they come out with their list for the top 10 hottest MCs in the game. Hottest MCs being hip-hop, lyricists, things of that sort. And it's a current list. It's a 2012/13 list, which kind of prompted me to want to come to the crew and like, yo, what's y'all top 10 list of all time? So we're going to come to that. But I wanted to kind of give you guys the current list before we gave y'all our own personal all-time list and just kind of have a little bit of a roundtable about it. Now, number 10 on the MTV list of the current hottest game MCs in the game. I'm going to give you the top 10. I'm going to just spit the names out real quick. You got Meek Mill at 10, Future, A$AP Rocky, Kanye West at 7, Big Sean, Drake, Nas at 4, Rick Ross, 2 Chainz, and topping the list, you've got Kendrick Lamar. Now, I'll be honest with you, me, Marcus J, I got 10 people I'm seeing on this list. I bought a record from 2 of them, Kanye and Nas. Rick Ross, anybody that knows me knows how I feel about that cat. But what prompted me to want to bring this up was your man Kool Moe Dee, Mohandas Deweese of Treacherous 3, legendary hip-hop pioneer, wrote a book a few years ago, and his list was the top 50 list. And the way he came up with his top 50 list, he did a list based on originality, concepts, versatility, vocab, substance, flow, flavor, freestyle, vocal presence, live performance, poetic value, body of work, industry impact, social impact, longevity, lyrics, and battle skills. He's got top 50 here. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to give you the top 50 all at once. I'm going to give them to you 10 at a time. I'm going to start at 50 throughout this segment here. I'm going to just jump into the fellas while they talking, and I'm going to give you 10, and then 10, and then 10 until I give you the top 10 that's on the top list of Kool Moe Dee. Now, I will say this. I'm 38 years old. I am probably towards the youngest group of the original generation of hip-hop. I honestly believe that the greatest year in hip-hop was 1988 because of all of the classics that came out that year and the longevity that we've had from people who came out that year. Some of them are still relevant here in 2013, 25 years later. 1988, the greatest year in hip-hop. A lot of the people on this list were relevant back then. Some of them weren't out back then, but it is what it is. So at number 50, you got Just Ice, Mac 10, Foxy Brown, Spoonie G at 47, Fat Joe, J. Rue the Damager, Craig Mack, MC Shan at 43, Lil Kim at 42, Big Pun, Slick Rick. That is the first 10 that you get. Again, not looking for any commentary, but that is the list so far that we got. So we're going to go around the room. We're going to talk with everybody. And if we always do, we always start with our guests. So we got K-Dub still with us. He's going to join us for the hip-hop segment before we let him go. And he's also got a list from one of his special friends. K-Dub, what you got, man?
Well, let me just say that, first off, I kind of look at that list with the squint eye because of the fact that, obviously, well, one was the last time anybody tried MTV and actually watched the music video. That's one. But, another thing is that if you look at that 10 list, I would definitely think that it would be comprised of someone that.
I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want to critique the list. I want to just go ahead and talk about ours.
Well, okay, and this is my own personal. You can kind of match them any way that you would like, and this does not go in any type of particular order. I have Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Big Daddy Kane, Ghostface Killer, and I would throw MC Lyte out there.
Okay. Real quick, we getting a hit from the Facebook fan page. Cousin Terry is asking who is Kendrick Lamar, which because that's my cousin Terry. I love her. I agree with her. Who the hell is Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar is, and I would say, you were talking about people that you purchase. I do have Kendrick Lamar's CD, and I would say that it is something different from what we listen to on the radio on the day-to-day. I would implore anyone, take a little time out, and you may not want to buy it or whatever. Just take a listen to it, and it's a little different. It's a little different. He's a real young cat, and I kind of like it. I personally like him.
So you said that you had your own list, and you had the list of a friend of yours that's with you. Did you give a composite, or did you just give your list?
Well, no, that six that I just named was my list. Mrs. Dub actually has a list of female MCs. So just kind of flip it on you. She has in no particular order: Pepper, Yo-Yo, Nicki Minaj, Foxy Brown, Little Kim, Rod Digger, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, and MC Lyte.
That's
just kind of give you a different perspective because a lot of times when we look at these lists, the females are excluded from them.
Well, I want to take this opportunity but let me stop you there, to welcome to the den. Yes. Yeah. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J on Legacy Internet Radio joining us. Is our friend and part of the show. We got Miss Tony joining us in the den. What's going on, girl?
Hello.
What's good? Thank you so much for joining us here in the den, and it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me as always.
All right,
she stuck in through the back door.
Yeah, she did. She did. I'm glad to have her. Anytime she can join us, I'm glad to have her. We got a caller on the live line. Unfortunately, I didn't have an opportunity to screen it, so caller, you on the live line. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J in the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Caller, what's your name and what's your comment? Caller, you still there with us?
I'm still here.
All right, caller, what's your name and what's your comment?
It's Jay Savior.
Jay Savior, I'm having some trouble hearing you. Can you speak up just a little bit for us?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Just a little bit. What's your comment?
I just want to comment on that list, man.
All right, what's your comment?
My comment is, I believe the list compromised the hottest MCs that's out right now. But it's not MC. So last time I checked, if you was an MC, you had to have skills, not swag or anything else. And for the comment that I heard earlier, Kendrick Lamar, as a young generation, he's one of the dopest dudes that's out here right now that still has original work and lyrics.
So he's more old school, you would say. He's bringing it back to the basics.
He
influence. If you listen to his records, it's much more of a jazz-inspired sound mixed with hip-hop, reminiscent of a Tribe Called Quest vibe with a West Coast flavor to it.
Okay. I mean, that's
co-signs on that.
That's what I've been told about him, but I'll make it plain. You know, I am an old fogey when it comes to hip hop, and you know, my desire to listen to it currently is somewhat limited. So when I go through my list later on, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Jay Savior, real quick, give me your top 10 hip hoppers of all time while we have you on the line before we let you go.
Okay. My order is number 1, Nas, Rakim, Jay-Z, Notorious B.I.G., Big Daddy Kane, Andre 3000, Cool G Rap, Eminem, Big Pun, and Black Thought.
That's what it is. Ain't no half stepping with Great list. Jay Savior, for the listeners who don't know, Jay Savior is also known as Grizzy Jr.
Grizzy Jr.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for listening to us, Jay Savior. You know you're welcome anytime. We're going to see you in the den real soon, brother.
No problem.
That's what it is. I want to give a shout out to my homegirl Melinda's listening to us on Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening to us on Steppin with Marcus J. So here's what we're going to do. Dub, hold the line. We're going to come back to you in a minute. We're going to go around the room. We're going to give everybody an opportunity to kind of spit out, their top 10. Don't have to be in any kind of, any kind of ranking. I didn't do mine in the ranking because I had to do 10 for the purposes of the discussion.
It was hard to do,
but you can't do 10. Like for me, I really wanted to do like Kumo D did and do like 25 or 50. But I'm gonna start with Grizzy Senior on this one. What's your thoughts, man? And now we can actually critique. Once everybody gets theirs out, then we can actually critique. I didn't want to critique MTV's list, but we can critique ours.
Because I know it's important. I want to hear everybody's opinion. I'm gonna make mine quick. I will state, just for the record, me and Carlton probably the oldest. But we go back to the golden age that you said. I use a period, say between 88 and 92 for myself. So this list is kind of comprised for my top 10. I'm gonna go as such: Notorious B.I.G., Rakim, and by the way, again, make this real quick. You'll tell what's the top because you'll hear the same type of MCs left and right. All right, Notorious B.I.G., Rakim, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, Jay-Z, Kanye West. As a group, A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Grandmaster Caz, Mos Def, Chuck D, and Ice Cube. That's my 10.
All right, I got you. I want to get another comment in for Cousin Terry is saying that MC Light is definitely part of the top 50 as well as Queen Latifah. Let's go to Miss Tony now and kind of get her contribution on your top 10. When we talking about hip hop, it doesn't have to be current, but what's your top 10 when you thinking of hip hop?
Okay, might I add that I have not even seen MTV's list.
Right.
Okay, my top 10, I got Pac, Biggie, Lil Kim, Jay-Z, old Jay-Z might I add,
right.
Mos Def, KRS, Guru, Snoop, Meth, and I put Outkast all together.
I like her list. Big Roo, what's your
Great
list? I do like her list. I like
curious to know with Big Roo because we debate with Big Roo about his hip hop taste, but I'm curious to know.
Big Roo?
Yeah.
All right, Notorious B.I.G., Rakim. I heard her. She gonna pay for hers later. Chuck D. Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar's hot. And
top 10.
I feel like y'all need to listen before you can critique.
All right, let's go.
Nas, Eminem, Cube, Q-Tip, and Tribe Called Quest as a whole. Tupac. Yeah, I forgot old Jay-Z. I really did. Thanks for reminding me. I put Lil Wayne here for sheer volume because
we don't need no discussion. Gas face, man. Just go through the list, man.
Man, I can say what I want to say.
I don't want to hear all that, man. Let's go through the list,
I looked at my list, man.
Ain't nobody else giving no commentary. Just give me the list.
Gave commentary.
And I shushed you.
Well, you gonna shush me?
I'm going to shush you.
Not happening.
Go through it.
You got to shush me some Lil Wayne.
If you've been paying attention, you heard it. Yeah, I was done.
All right. I want to give another shout out.
All right.
Shout out to Mother J. My mom is listening, y'all, so don't be cussing. All right.
Nobody cuss but you.
I think Mama know you. You just did it.
I did, didn't I? Yeah, sorry, Mom. All right. Calm Banks, what's your list, bro?
It's going to be Biggie, number 1 as far as I'm concerned.
All
Tupac,
right.
LL, Oh Baby You,
Biz Markie?
Biz Markie, yes.
Okay.
What did we talk about, man?
Eminem.
All right.
Definitely Kumo D, Jazzy Jeff, and the Fresh Prince.
Okay.
You know,
we gonna comment
that's
later.
pretty much it for me.
All
I'm
right.
not, you know, I don't do that much.
Carlton Banks, we know that Carlton Banks is more of an R&B funk type of
Okay.
fan. So the fact that we got 5, 6, 7 out of him
Was miraculous.
I'm happy with that. Marcus J's list, and of course, as I stated earlier, I wanted to get more than 10, but the list is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go number 1, Redman. Gotta go number 2, Tretch.
What? You going much Jersey love tonight?
I had to get some Jersey love. Rakim Allah,
All right.
KRS-One,
Peace, God.
Eminem, Ice Cube, MC Light, Will Smith,
Really?
Disagree.
Biggie and Pac.
All right.
Now
we can get to
now we can get to it, and let me just kind of say my piece first, because I know that Carlton Banks agreed with me on. He said DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, which is basically Will Smith, same guy. But I think that he never got the props that he should have got because he wasn't a hardcore type of hip hopper. He was more of a party rapper. He was more of a, I guess, soft rapper. He was more the kind of guy that you can listen to with your moms. Thanks for listening, Ma, and your grandma and that kind of thing. He was safe, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But the dude had lyrics.
But if that's the case, we could put MC Hammer 2 big.
And that's the reason why it's your list. You can put whoever you want on your list.
Let's go with that was my list.
That was my list
that we put out though. Let's think about who we put out there.
You know, big.
All right, so the people who we pretty much all agreed on. Carl and I agreed on Will Smith, and y'all disagree. Fine, we don't have to talk about the ones we disagree on.
Talk about what
let's talk about the ones we agree on.
Hold on. I don't disagree with Will Smith. I disagree with what you called him. I think he should be called Fresh Prince for this list because let's be honest, his Will Smith stuff is kind of whack.
I disagree with that, but I don't think we need to play with semantics. It's the same guy.
Right.
So let's not do semantics. Because he changed his name. We don't have to play semantics. But let's do this, Tony. Let me get your opinion on this, Tony, because you had Biggie and Pac on your list, and for the most part, Biggie and Pac both came up on this list. We know that the anniversary of Biggie's passing was on this past Saturday, 16 years ago, March 9th, 1997. We lost Biggie in an unsolved murder, still unsolved murder. But we know also that Biggie had 2 records that came out during his lifetime. 1 record, 1 double record. So technically 3 records. But we still, today, talking about Biggie is the biggest, one of the biggest influences on hip hop. You tell me why, in your opinion.
Oh gosh, I mean, he was just so. He was a mixture of hip hop, you know, what hip hop embodies, and I think that he kind of made it like cool and okay to rap about being in the streets and, you know,
and
selling dope and. Yeah, well, but
he did know about being fat, though.
But that's okay.
But he was cool with it. Exactly.
But that was just. I mean, he had the whole persona to go along with it, and he was cool, and you knew that what he rapped about was real for him.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in right here. And as I mentioned, we're going to periodically jump in Kumo D's top 50 list. I'm going to give you 10 more, and then I'm going to go to Big Rub. Big Rube. Now, at number 39, you got Corrupt, Mystical, Keith Murray, Dougie Fresh, Ice-T, Guru. At number 33, Snoop, Reverend Run at 32, Curtis Blow at 31, and Scarface at 30. Big Rube, we don't need to comment on the list. I just wanted to make a point of that we're getting that list out. Why don't you jump in? We talking about Biggie and his impact since he seemed to have come up on everybody's list. After Big Rube Dub, I want you to jump in behind Rube.
I mean, you know, for me with Biggie was. I mean, he was it, you know. He pretty much told you what it was and how it was without really, you know, calling you an idiot. I like Biggie. Now, I wasn't like everybody else who was, Biggie's it, brother. You know, for me, I got into Biggie a little late. And, you know, when he got a little more commercialized, I went back and listened to his old stuff. And that's when I started to appreciate him for what he was at the time.
K-Dub, you got Biggie Smalls. Notorious B.I.G. is pretty much showing up on most of the list. What's your thoughts on Biggie anniversary of his passing just a couple of days ago?
Well, I was fortunate enough to be in the New York, New Jersey area during this past weekend during the anniversary of his death. Again, man, I'm just, I'm glad that I was in that area when we first came out, man. I think Big, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time. Is definitely arguably, it is an argument. But I mean, hey, Big is what it is. There's some people that are pro Tupac that would say Tupac is the greatest of all time. Hey, I would be willing to say, there's people that I went to college with. A partner of mine, he would say that the Beastie Boys was the greatest group of all time.
Yeah, I guess he's probably white. He probably white boy too. Greg.
Absolutely. Well, he was. Hey, that's what he was covered in. I should say. I think inside it was all chocolate.
I can dig it. Hey, Greg, as we.
No, it's no diss. No,
it's not a diss. No, we're not.
Making sure it sound like a diss.
We're not dissing. But let's go around the room. Grizz, what's your thoughts? Again, because Biggie came up pretty much on everybody's list, I want to take and give everybody an opportunity to speak on him. We're going to talk on Pac next.
I shedded a tear for Biggie, man, when he got assassinated, like Chris Rock said. No, he got killed, not assassinated. But look, Biggie, for me, he was so nice with the words and could ride a track so well. Like, he was lyrical, but he also painted a picture and told you a story. Like the Warning video, who the F is this, paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawning. I'm not going to even, because you hear that first couple of lines, and if you came up in our era, you know that whole song. It's because he told that story that so vividly. Like, it's very few MCs that could do that. And still looking back, 13 years later, it still plays it still plays heavily in my rotation.
And you still feeling it. Picking up in the top 50 list for Kumo D, you got at number 30, Scarface, Black Thought, Common. Exhibit at number 26, you got Pharoah Monch, you got Heavy D, Busta Rhymes, Will Smith at 23, Genius, Jizza, 22, Ras Kass. People forget about him. He was nice with it. And Redman at number 20. Carlton Banks, when you hear about Biggie, we know that you're the resident, not really hip-hop fan of the crew, but it's always interesting to get your perspective, because you come from a perspective that's kind of more fair than those of us who are a little bit more invested. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, Biggie was one of the few people that I could actually listen to and not hear, and actually hear what he had to say and hear what he was trying to portray as well. He was always talking about he was coming up. He was just trying to make some money for his family. He was trying to take care of his kids. Yeah, he knew he was selling crack rocks, and it wasn't the thing he was supposed to do. But hey, he was trying to make it for his family, not trying to go out there and try to really make a hustle, as in don't knock the hustle kind of thing. I just liked him. He was a big guy. He got on stage. He tried to do a little performance like Heavy used to do back in the day. So it was good to see the big boys out there, shaking their groove.
Another name that popped up a couple times on our list is Tupac, and we know we lost Pac on September 13th, 1996. He lay in the hospital for several days after watching the Bruce Seldon-Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Me personally, I think Pac was probably one of the top. I made a point of not really ranking mine, but I got Pac probably for me in the top 5 if I really did have to rank them. A lot of that has to do with the wisdom that he came with. But see, here's the thing with Pac. Pac came with wisdom, but he also came with nonsense and blasphemy. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he was so confusing and frustrated. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because Pac to me was kind of, when you listen to him as a rapper and you see him as a person, he kind of reminded me of Malcolm X in the sense of
that transition.
The transition, but both sides of Malcolm X in one person.
Right.
Like the pre-jail Malcolm X and the post-jail Malcolm X. Like, he can do keep your head up, right? Mm-hmm. But then he can do hit him up.
Hit him up.
You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, You can't be talking about doing that with this dude's wife in this song, man. What's wrong with you, man? And then in the next song in your set, you talking about keep your head up, like, so that kind of got.
Let me ask you this though, Mark. Could that be a sign of just his talent that he could do? Though he could be able to do those type things.
Absolutely, but I also think I think that you're right on that, Dub. But I also think that the inner struggle that you had with Pac, and the fact that he was able to make songs telling you that he was gonna die, and them songs will come out after he died, and you would hear him, and you'd be like, damn, how the hell he would know? And, you know, I think the guy was put here for a reason, and I don't want to get like too spiritual when it comes to him, but when you look around, when you look around you, and you look around hip hop, you look around sports, and you look around social media and certain things, you got Malcolm X, or you got Michael Jordan, or you got Tupac. There's certain people that were put here to kind of, you know, get into your consciousness, and I think Pac was one of those people. Big Road.
You know, he was a very good lyricist, a very good rapper, very good entertainer. However, the dude was bipolar. You know, hold on, he was doing something like, Brenda got a baby, and then he'd be like, I get a ram. And I'm just kind of like, really, dude?
I mean,
you can't go back and forth like that. I mean, I'm not saying he was bipolar. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me if he was, because he really bounced on both sides of the line. And, you know, he represented for everybody who wanted to hear the good stuff. You know, the stuff that you need to be, all the positive stuff you need to be telling people. Then he represents for everybody else who want to get down, party, have sex with a whole bunch of women, and all this other stuff. California Love was the combination of both that.
Tony?
To me, Tupac was a poet first. I always saw him as a poet. And what some people saw as, you know, this, you know, going from one extreme to the other in his personalities, and, you know, his emotions, to me, that was just a turmoil that I think most people deal with. And he was just able to put that emotion, that turmoil on paper and express it in a way that most of us can't.
Grizz, I see you over there shaking your head.
Yeah, because she stole my thunder there. I looked at him more like a poet as opposed to a lyricist. I mean, poetry, creativity can come in many ways. He just put pen to paper and was able to give it with the attitude, being that he was a son of a Panther and he grew up. So he just put those emotions on paper. One of the things to go against what Ruben's saying, a lot of times as an artist, you may not be the one that you might make those songs, but you don't have the decision that those songs are going to come out, i.e. a AR person, artist and repertoire, or your manager or somebody in your camp might have said this is going to be good on an album. So that's maybe why you was getting those two different angles from Pac, but I agree wholeheartedly with Tony. He was more like a poet.
Well, I agree with Ruben, because the man was bipolar. How you going to be in Dear Mama, you know, blessing her and praising her, but in that same song, you blame her for making your brother a crack baby?
Easily. You got nobody in your family that you love one day, and then they owe you $30.
That's that song that you're really supposed to be uplifting your mom, and at the same time, you talking about it. The same time.
I mean, that's not that song. I mean, I don't want to spend time critiquing the song, but that song wasn't about uplifting his mother. That song was about the fact that Brenda was a little girl who was taken advantage of.
You talking about Brenda have a baby?
Brenda have a baby. Yeah, that song was about his, you know, his mother, his you know, the little girl that was taken advantage of. That's what that song was about. The next list. The next Dear part Mama. Of the list, well, Dear Mama, of course. Right. Yeah, that's a different song. The next part of the list, you got at number 19, you got MC Lyte, Ice Cube, Method Man, Tretch, Jay-Z, Cool G Rap. Tupac at 13, Queen Latifah, and Nas at number 11. K-Dub. When I look top 10. When we go around hip hop, we talked about Biggie, we talked about Pac. The next name that I want to kind of get your opinion on, we used to make the joke years ago about how you had Tiger Woods was a black dude and the best golfer. You also had some people who felt that Eminem was a white dude as the best rapper. And I'll be honest with you, I was one of those people for a long time, because I put Eminem up against a lot of these cats today and a lot of these cats yesterday, and I'll bet you he bust that ass. What's your thoughts?
Your mama listen.
You're absolutely correct. I would definitely say that. And just going through your list, I mean, there was a number of people that I straight forgot about. And you know how I am. I would have said, if you asked me my top 5, I probably would have said Redman, and Redman. You You know what I'm saying? But to go back to what you were saying, I do think that he is the best at this particular point. He is the best Caucasian rapper that I have heard. I can't say that I have any of his material, but if you were to tell me that Eminem was coming on, you know, whatever show, I'm going to check it out and I'm going to peep it, because just like you said, you put him against probably, I would say maybe, you think about that list that MTV came out, you take that top 10 list, I would easily put him up against each and every one of them, and probably would only say that us would probably be the only one that really holds his own.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I feel strongly, Big Rube, about Eminem being deserving on that list. A name that popped up a couple of times is Sean Carter, Jay-Z. It came up a couple of times. Nas came up a couple of times. You know, we all know how most of us feel about Rakim Allah. You know,
Peace, God.
you know, so you know, as being one of the first, being, you know, lyricists with regards to bringing the knowledge and bringing a certain kind of spit into the mic. Big Daddy Kane, whose Ain't No Half Steppin' song inspired the name of our show.
Right.
I don't think anybody had him on the list, but I guarantee you we're going to hear that name again before the end of the show. Big Rude, take the last word before I close out the segment.
You know, I as part of our list, you know, I feel like, me personally, I feel like Chuck D is on my list.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Chuck D shaped probably most of us in here if you listen to Public Enemy. Yet, I don't know if he's in the top 10, but I haven't heard his name yet on the list that that Kumo D created. But, you know, I think what happens is we listen to a lot of people, and then there are a whole bunch of people that we may never listen to, yet we don't really understand, you know, that they gave something to the hip hop community. You know, like a lot of young kids don't know anything about Public Enemy.
Nah,
you know,
kids do.
They be like, Public Enemy whack, and I'll be like, I'm gonna smack you in the face.
you get smacked in the face.
Corporal punishment for not listening to Public Enemy.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus. Yeah, we're gonna leave the hip hop conversation there. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the what the hell segment. But before I do that, I'm gonna tease the top 10 list, and I'm gonna give it to you on the other side. Marcus J, Ain't No Half Stepping. You want to hear who Kumo D had in his top 10 list? You got to listen to us on this other side. Marcus J, Ain't No Half Stepping. Hang in there with us. We're gonna be back in about a minute.
And you know this.